Hey folks, welcome back to Pete's Investing. It's May 12, 2024. This is the update for the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the German DAX and the Nikkei. And you can see there they're all increased slightly since our last update. The Nikkei's gone sideways and the VIX is also dropped off. This is our heat map. And again, we cover various instruments. In particular, in this video, we're looking at these markets down here. On the monthly, we're still bullish. On the weekly, there's a mixed bag there with the VIX and the Japanese Nikkei short, the Nasdaq and the US market neutral, and the German market still very bullish. And on the daily, bearish on the VIX and the Japanese Nikkei and bullish on all the other markets. First, looking at the VIX, you can see there it's below our moving averages on the price chart. There is no CCI showing up on the monthly. On the weekly, we actually broken down into a bearish signal there. So that's giving us a bearish signal, as well as on the price chart, it's broken down, so bearish on the weekly. And on the daily, likewise, pretty strong bearish signal to the downside on both the CCI and the price, and there's no sign yet of a pullback. So again, bearish on that one there. On the 1 hour chart, you can see there the CCI is broken to the downside. We did have a bullish divergence back here, and it broke up slightly, and then it fell off again on the price, so still bearish on the 1 hour chart. Looking at the S&P 500, and this is the monthly chart. You can see there we did have a bearish divergence back here that fell off slightly, and then we've got a new bearish divergence here with higher highs on the price, and that's starting to potentially fall off. So that's a slight bearish or neutral movement, I would say, on the monthly. On the weekly, you can see there that between that long period there was that high there on the CCI is still lower than that high there, so that's giving us a bearish signal. And it's actually neutral at the moment as well on the price movement. So it's potentially peaked at that point, but we're not sure yet. If it does break above that high there, and that CCI breaks higher, then we're going to invalidate that divergence. On the daily, you can see there the CCI is still dropping off, making a slight move to the upside there, but it's still lower than that high there. And you can see there the price is reaching this resistance up there at 52.69. So that hasn't broken that resistance yet. And we may see further drops from where it was. We did have a pullback here, hit our target initially, and it's made a bit of a move to the upside, but again, it's hitting this resistance before making a further upside we need to see. Now on the 1 hour chart, we always look at the 1 hour chart as well, and that you can see there it's still below that resistance area, and it's giving us, this CCI is giving us this bearish signal still. So again, we need to see it break higher as well. We need to see the CCI break higher to invalidate this divergence. But at the meantime, I would suggest probably a neutral to a bearish signal at the moment on the S&P. The German DAX on the monthly, first off, it's giving us a bullish signal. Although we do potentially have a bearish divergence. That high there is still lower than that high versus higher highs in the price. But the price is moving further to the upside, so potentially a divergence. We'll see how it pans out in the coming weeks. On the weekly chart, that's still a bearish divergence. That low hasn't broken to a new high yet, although the price has gone higher. So that's also a bearish divergence on the weekly. And on the daily, it's hitting this resistance at 18,850. Again, that's a bearish divergence between that trend line there, and that's that high is lower than that high, whereas it's higher highs on the price, so that's still a bearish divergence. Your previous resistance was at that point there at about 18,636, but it's actually raised that resistance level to that new high there. We'll see how that goes. If this CCI breaks higher, and the price will then break higher as well. But at the moment, just be careful about going long anytime soon. On the 1 hour chart, you can see here we've got a bearish divergence on the CCI, a lot clearer signal versus the higher highs on the price. And again, this is sort of hovering around this neutral area, hasn't broken through that resistance. So again, be careful about going long. The Japanese Nikkei on the monthly, first off, the CCI is broken above its moving averages, and it possibly this may be a resistance area to look out for. So that may have hit a top already. So just be careful of that. That's on the monthly, but it's still somewhat bullish on the monthly. On the weekly, it's broken down, hit this resistance, as I said, broken down, and this is our target area. So it's already got a bearish divergence down here, broken down, and we may see it hit this target area possibly if this price continues to the downside and if that CCI continues to the downside as well. On the daily, it's been declining for a number of days now, and it's actually made a bit of a retrace to the upside. It may have already completed this bearish divergence. You can see there, hit our target, bounced off that 38% level, and making a little slight bounce to the upside, although the CCI is pretty much moving sideways and breaking further to the downside, and that's a bearish signal. So just be careful about going long based on the daily on Nikkei. And on the 1 hour chart, you can see there the CCI has been dropping off, and that's in line with the price. So that's a bearish movement on the 1 hour chart. Again, I'd like to see this break higher with new highs on both the CCI as well as the price to be more bullish on the Nikkei. And the Nasdaq, finally, it's hit this resistance up there at around 18,200, and it's making a slight retrace to the downside. You can see there we've got a bearish divergence on the CCI versus higher highs on the price. So last month it was a bearish candle. This month it's bullish so far, but again, it's hitting this potential resistance. So just be careful about going long too aggressively due to this monthly divergence. On the weekly, again, you can see it more closely. We've got a bit of a bounce there. Didn't hit the target area. We've got a bearish divergence here, and we've marked a target area here at around a 23% retracement at 16,560. Hasn't hit it, and it's made further upside. So at the moment, again, be careful about going too strongly or too aggressively long until we see new highs on both the CCI and the price. And on the daily, you can see there the CCI is still falling off, although it's made a bit of a retrace to the upside. Likewise on the price, and it hasn't hit this resistance yet. Again, we need to see it break higher than that resistance to be more bullish. And on the 1 hour chart, again, you can see there on the CCI still dropping off. Made a bit of a bounce the last few hours, but it's still below on the price as well as the CCI. So that's a somewhat neutral to bearish move at the moment on the Nasdaq 1 hour period.
To support us more, go to the Patreon page where we look at weekly scans of bullish shares. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.